some questions about your Potawatomi tribe.
Nice to meet you. I'm Ashley.
First, we're going to start with clothing. What were some of the natural resources used for clothing?
We use lots of deer and moose skin. We also use shells that come from as far away as the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. Another thing we used was copper.
What kind of things did you make out of copper?
We made jewelry. The copper came from the Lake Superior.
I'm guessing you guys lived close to or had a connection to Lake Superior. Is there any type of clothing you had that Americans have now?
Yes, we had leggings.
Wow, that makes me feel like you were kind of modern. Ashi, what sort of tools did you have for clothing?
Barely any. One would hand weave the clothes. I know a line I never wore long pants because they were a village close to us.
Thanks. That's all the questions for clothing right now, but we want to know more about you.
My name means smile. I'm 31. I come from a Potawatomi tribe, but am highly educated in all the Illinois tribe. There's not a lot more to it.
Thanks. Now we're moving on to food. What natural resources were used for food?
We got fish from the river, but mostly started farming while we waited for the farm crops to grow. We would find food in the forest. We ate things like plants, roots, red oak, acorns, berries, grapes, and wild rice.
Since you just started farming, did you still hunt?
Yes, we still hunted.
What tools were needed to store and make food?
We used hose. Another thing we used is pottery. The pottery was made of clay, and we would make jars, bowls, and pots.
So, Ashi, now that we're done with food, we're moving on to shelter. Can you tell me anything about the shelter in your life?
Well, as a girl, I lived with my mother's family. The summer home could hold at least 2 families. I lived with my mom's sister and brother's family.
Did it look anything like this?
No, it did not.
Getting back to business, what were the natural resources used for shelter?
Reeds. Ladies would weave reed mats and use them to cover the homes. We also used bark for the winter homes. The winter homes were portable. The summer homes are called lawn houses.
Ashi, how do you feel like this reflected Illinois' environment?
Well, I feel like there were more rivers because each house needed lots of reeds.
I feel like it was later because you guys were smarter in using mats to cover your houses. What tools were used to make the shelters?
The men used sharp axes to cut poles and stuff, but then again, we didn't have lots of tools.
Now we're moving out of shelter and into the environment. Ashi, what were the natural resources in Illinois?
Well, it was mostly wood, rock, and reed, and clay. We also had the forest that provided food.
What was the rock used for?
We used the rock for arrowheads. The clay was for pottery. The wood was also for bowls and stuff.
Did you affect or change the environment in any way?
We didn't chop down entire forests or anything. Since we took food from the forests, the animal population might have gone down, but it was more like we took what we needed and nothing more. We even protected it when others wanted to tear it down.
Okay, we're almost done. Just a couple more questions. First, though, I want want to know when you were married since we're moving into community.
I was married in my 14th year of life.
Is that early?
Not really. Most girls are married in their 15th year of life.
How is the community governed?
Each village was ruled by chiefs and usually a ward chief.
What were the men, women, and children's roles?
The man had lots of jobs. As a father, he was supposed to supply the family with meat and fur, and a citizen. He was supposed to hunt and do warfare. Some men run the council and approved of the chief's decisions. Lots of the men were warriors. Women, as mothers, were supposed to bear and raise children as workers. They worked in the fields. They also did much work around the village and camp. The children played with toys that would teach them their adult roles.
What was the daily life like in the community?
The way of life was more like jobs. We had hunters, gatherers, farmers, fishers, and trappers. Small boys who showed marked tendencies to the femininity were raised as girls. Also in Illinois society, a person's social status was determined by what others thought of them.
Ashi, I'd like to thank you for your time. And this is my Illinois Indians report. Bye.